Holy cow, you guys. I'm hooked into something heavy. What in the world are we hooked into? Yes, this is it. What's going on, everybody? Nick from 618 Fishing here, and welcome back to another fishing adventure. To say that I'm excited about today's episode would be an understatement. We're on the hunt for one of the rarest fish in the entire world. I gotta get loose sometimes. We have just made it to the fishing spot where we will be attempting to catch this special fish, and it is looking epic today. I'll be fishing beneath these rapids. I think I'm gonna set up down on that sandbar. I cannot wait to get started. The fish that I'm targeting, although they get massive, they actually go for night crawlers, which is crazy to me. So let's rig up some night crawlers on my big catfish rods because we're gonna have to throw some heavy weights to get our baits to stick out there in that current. Okay, I've got a big old night crawler rigged up on this Carolina rig with an 8-ounce weight. Let's toss it out there. Oh, there's a bite. All right, guys, I think something's on here. Okay, first catch. This is not the species that I'm after today, but it feels really good to get the skunk off the board. I was nervous those fish weren't gonna be out there in that current, but we just caught our first fish, and it is a freshwater drum. See you later, buddy. Check out this weight that I'm using. This current out there is so strong. This is called a Sputnik weight, and it's actually holding really nicely out there. It's working perfectly. Let's toss the bait back out. There we go, fish on. And it's another drum. I could keep this guy for bait to try to catch a catfish, but that's not exactly what I'm targeting today, so I'm gonna let him go, but I might keep one in the future to use this fresh cut bait. See you later, buddy. Oh wow, we actually have a fish. Man, there are a ton of drum out there. This might make catching the target species a little difficult. All right, well, I'm gonna have to put a counter up for how many drum we catch today because I'm already starting to lose count. And you guys could have guessed it, another drum. I think I may have jinxed myself with that freshwater drum counter because I have not caught another one. Fishing has slowed down quite a bit. Is that a fish? Oh, there we go. It's been a while since I caught my last one, so let's go ahead and keep this guy to use for bait. Oh, there's a big bite. Not the target species, but this drum just whacked the night crawler. See you later, buddy. Well, it seems that the drum have finally started biting again. We just got 3 back to back to back. I will take it. See you later, buddy. All right, let's try launching this one way out as far as we can. I think there's something on here. Man, it is so hard to tell if there's a fish on here with this 14-ounce weight. Oh, that's definitely a fish. This actually feels like a nice fish. Is this what we've been after? It feels heavier than anything else we've hooked into so far. Dang. Holy smokes. Look at the size of this drum. What a beast. This guy was living in that crazy current. I have to get a weight of this fish because I believe this is the second largest drum I've ever caught. Just under 7 pounds, 6.9 pounds. All right, let's let this beast go. See you later, buddy. Coming in at just under 7 pounds, I believe that is the second largest freshwater drum that I have ever caught. That dude was super chunky, and the craziest thing, that guy was living out there in that gnarly current. What an awesome catch. I caught that guy with this suspended night crawler. Let's toss this back out there. There's a bite. All right, add it to the counter. As much as I like fishing from this comfortable sandy beach, I think if we're gonna catch the target species, we're gonna have to move a little bit. See you later, buddy. Tossing a bait out right here could be a terrible idea. I am seeing nothing but snags. I will probably immediately lose my tackle, but let's go ahead and do it anyways. All right, there's a fish. I think there's a fish on here. It's hard to tell with the weight. Oh, yes, this is it. There we go, we did it. We finally caught the target species. We just caught a sturgeon. This is what I've been after all day. Yes, I have caught these guys in the past. Their scales are razor sharp. So this time around, I brought some gloves because my hands got cut up last time. What an awesome looking fish. All right, let's go ahead and let him go. See you later, buddy. That is the fish that we've been after all day. Well, not that one in particular. That was actually a shovelnose sturgeon, but I've seen some pictures of lake sturgeon caught from this spot that were massive. I would love to catch one of those giant fish, but I am super stoked to have caught that little guy. I cannot wait to see what we hook into next. I caught that fish with this Carolina rig. I've got a 8-ounce weight on the slip sinker, and then I've got my worm hook loaded up with a night crawler. I launched that bait way off these rocks. Let's do the same thing and see if we can catch an even bigger fish. Oh, there's a bite. Oh, yes. There we go. Yet another shovelnose sturgeon. These don't get very big overall, but what an awesome looking fish. It looks like it's from a different planet. Man, these guys are pure muscle. They're living out there in that current 24/7, and it shows. See you later, buddy. Just by looking at the fish, you could tell that these guys are bottom feeders. Their mouth is on the underside of their body. That's where I've got my bait sitting, and that's where he found it. There's a bite. Oh, I'm snagged. Dang it. No way. This line was snagged for the longest time. I've got a fish on here. That is crazy. I cannot believe this. This line was snagged for so long. I finally thought I broke it free, and to my surprise, a shovelnose sturgeon. That is so cool. See you later, buddy. I am shocked that I just caught that fish. I snagged this rod probably 15, 20 minutes ago, and I finally decided to break it free. And when I broke it free, there was a fish on there, and not just any fish, a sturgeon, which is crazy. All right, let's toss it back out there. Is this a fish? Holy cow, you guys. I'm hooked into something heavy. What in the world are we hooked into? It is a fish. Well, it was a fish, and apparently I got tangled in my other line. See you later, buddy. Oh, there's a bite. There we go, fish on. Dang, this feels like a nice one. Yes. All right. They all feel pretty decent in that current, especially since I'm using these really heavy weights. But it is yet another shovelnose sturgeon. I cannot get over how cool these fish look. They almost look like freshwater sharks. See you later, buddy. Unfortunately, I have run out of time and I was not able to complete my goal of catching a monster sturgeon out here today. But having said that, we caught a ton of fish, and catching those little shovelnose sturgeon was very, very cool. Those are some of the coolest looking fish that I have ever caught. So needless to say, I had a ton of fun today. If you guys enjoyed this episode, I'd really appreciate it if you left a thumbs up, possibly think about subscribing if you haven't. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Oh, check it out, you guys. I just reeled in a spinnerbait. That is wild. Oh my gosh. Check it out, guys. We just caught a shoe. That is one of the craziest catches I've ever had.